Hello and welcome. I'm Aloni Bhatt. India is powered by small businesses, be it auto ancillaries, polymer and plastics, textile, ceramic and tile manufacturers, handicrafts, logistics. The list is endless. All these businesses create jobs, and with jobs comes an improved standard of living, education, and prosperity. It is estimated that India has 63 million micro, small, and medium businesses that contribute to 110 million jobs. They make for nearly 48% of our exports. No wonder they're called the backbone of India. But this backbone was hit during COVID. Businesses suffered, jobs were lost, incomes vanished. And as we learned to deal and manage the crisis, there has been a rebound. While businesses are rebuilding, challenges remain. The Economic Times applauds the hard work and success of these businesses, which have shown grit and growth. Launched in 2019, this program, ETRise Top MSMEs Ranking, is a nationwide search to find India's most worthy micro, small, or medium enterprises. Now, in its second edition, the initiative celebrates the success of homegrown MSMEs. From manufacturing handicrafts to precision engineering and logistics to design consultants, no business is too small to participate. The ranking felicitates both innovation and excellence. ETRise MSME ranking is open to MSMEs across 4 categories of participation: India's top innovative MSMEs, India's top exporter MSMEs, India's top performing MSMEs, and India's fastest growing MSMEs. Now, we could not have done this alone. We want to thank our partners who've been part of this process with us. eBay India, our Cell Global partner, Deutsche Bank, our banking partner, MIDC, our state partner, CareEdge Ratings, our assessment partner. Now, let's learn a little bit about ETRise. It's India's largest platform for the MSME ecosystem and a one-stop shop for news coverage on entrepreneurship, small business management, and business opportunities. You will find it all here. Now, we're delighted that we're opening our second edition of ETRise Top MSME with Mr. Amitabh Kant, the CEO of Niti Aayog, which is the policy think tank of the Government of India. Let's listen in to his thoughts.
I'm delighted to participate in today's event of ETRise. The micro, small and medium enterprises India has a very vital and a critical role for fueling the economic growth of the country at a time when India aspires to be a $5 trillion economy. The sector contributes in a very significant way to the growth of Indian economy with a vast network of about 6.3 crore units producing more than 8,000 products and a share of around 30% in nominal GDP. The share of MSME sector in India's merchandise export has been around 49%, which signifies that Indian MSMEs are globally competitive and their product services are accepted overseas. The share of the sector in total manufacturing output is nearly 33%. The total employment in MSME is much higher than around 11 crore, which was estimated in the 73rd round of NSS conducted during 2015-16. Around 50% of the total MSMEs operate in rural areas and provide 45% of the total employment. Micro enterprises account for 97% of the total employment in MSME sector. The Government of India has launched several schemes, programs for promoting MSMEs, which are in the form of credit and financial assistance, skill development and training, infrastructure support, technology upgradation, etc. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, government has taken a number of initiatives within the COVID-19 relief package to encourage, promote, and our MSMEs. If you look at it, the 3 lakh crore collateral-free automatic loans for business, including MSMEs, a 20,000 crore subordinate debt for MSMEs, 50,000 crore equity infusion through MSME Self-Reliant India Fund, a new revised category of classification of MSMEs after many decades, and a new registration of MSMEs through Udyam registration for ease of doing business, and also no global tenders for procurement up to rupees 200 crores. All central ministries, departments and CPSEs are required to procure 25% of the annual requirements of goods and services from MSMEs, including 4% from MSEs owned by SCST and 3% from MSEs owned by women entrepreneurs under the public procurement policy. The MSME sector is the backbone of Indian economic structure and has a very important role to buffer global economic shocks and adversities. It is therefore imperative to recognize and give impetus to these homegrown business and enterprises, and I am truly delighted that the MSME definition was revised in 2020 with a view to have non-discretionary, transparent and objective criteria. I believe that ETRise, under the aegis of its Top MSMEs Ranking, is providing a stellar platform to recognize and celebrate the success of these homegrown MSMEs. ETRise ranked MSMEs on the critical parameters of innovation, performance, growth, and export. There are huge benefits of rating for MSMEs. With enhanced acceptability by investors, a number of banks offer interest rate concessions based on the MSME ratings, thereby offering a scope for cheaper credit. There's increased visibility and there is scope for further improvement. The rating is also a comparative exercise which evaluates the relative ranking of the entity across industry. This covers important risk factors and concern areas for improvement for the rated entities, thus providing a valuable third-party feedback. I am truly delighted that this will help banks, as it will be an independent third-party opinion. It will help benchmark the internal credit practices of a bank and will facilitate a lending decision in terms of quantum of loan, price, margin, and security. It will also benefit the large corporates in evaluation of vendors, dealers, would aid corporates in suitable vendor selection, risk management policy, and this will lead to availability of cheaper credit for vendors, which would reduce their input costs. So I'm truly delighted that ETRise has taken this initiative and will greatly facilitate the MSMEs in their future growth and progress and prosperity. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kant, for your inputs and for setting the stage for our show. Now, moving on, one way to grow is to expand your reach to more customers. Beyond the national stimulus packages provided by the government, experts say the key to long-term growth of the MSME sector is through digitization and finding new ways to connect with customers worldwide. Now, how do you do that if you've been in survival mode for the last 20 months? I spoke to Akash Gehani, COO and co-founder of InstaMojo, an online selling platform for small independent businesses, Manan Dixit, founder and CEO of FidiPay, a fintech company, and Pawan Ponnappa, head of categories and marketing of eBay India, which is part of the global e-commerce platform. And they told me that before COVID, MSMEs may have struggled with tech disruptions. But the pandemic taught them the importance of digitization and automation, and they have now embraced it. Here's a small excerpt of that chat. Pawan, let's begin with you. What are the hesitations that small businesses articulate to you when they come to sell at a marketplace or trade their goods on a platform like eBay, and how do you handhold or counsel them?
I think the biggest challenge that most businesses face is how easy or complex is it to start and get their business going on a platform. And I think that's the real inertia. And I think once they get past that stage, it becomes easier. Of course, there are many steps beyond that, but I think that's the initial hurdle that they want to get past. And that's where, platforms like eBay or InstaMojo, all play a role in trying to make that easier for MSMEs to get their business going, get their products online, get reach. And once they have that reach and access, right, I think then it's all about being able to run your business efficiently. But I think the starting point to be able to get onto the platform is an important hurdle that sellers do articulate. From an eBay perspective, while that's an important aspect, and we focus a lot on how easy it is to get sellers to go global, because we're not just talking about selling from a domestic point of view, but selling across the world. We try to make that as seamless as possible as selling to a buyer in India, right? And that also entails simplifying not just the ability to bring your products online, but how do you actually ship your products? How do you actually get your payments and remittances? Because this is money that's going to come from buyers overseas. So it's an end-to-end process that we lay out for the sellers. And this is something that once they get going, is very, very easy for them to manage. And it's pretty much a one window where they get everything done with respect to listing the product, shipping the product, and getting paid for it.
Right. Manan, Indian merchants, especially maybe in rural India, are not aware of digital payments methods. Now, I don't know if the pandemic has changed that, but the system can be challenging because most of the communication is in English. There's a low literacy level when it comes to English. The process is considered foreign, and for a lot of people, it's a struggle. When you get past that, then you have connectivity issues. Internet connection is weak, it drops, hardly inspires any confidence. In such a scenario, there are barriers even before one begins. So then how can MSMEs adopt a digital first strategy?
So, Malini, this has been the scenario across the rural India for quite some time. But if you see from last 3-4 years, due to the 4G connectivity that has penetrated even the remotest part of the India, a better infrastructure, the push from the government side on the BharatNet digital payment solutions and UPIs. So all those things are changing on the ground. Secondly, if you see a lot of fintechs like InstaMojo, like us, even the other players out there out in the market, now they have come up with a multilingual applications. So it's more of a vernacular content that is coming out for the MSMEs or SMEs to better strategize their digital first strategy and then implement it out at the end of the day. So we at FidiPay also try to ensure work with them how you can minimize your initial teething troubles when onboarding on any payment or any collections or any platform which basically helps you digitize your flow of payments or bankings or collections. So that is something that is anyways changing from last couple of years. And due to pandemic, people have realized that they have to adopt the digital strategy. They can't just choose ki nahi humko nahi karna hai. That can't happen nowadays. They have to do it, otherwise there's no surviving out there in the market now. So I guess that has changed. That mindset has changed in last couple of years.
Right. Akash, to you, from being a payments platform, your company now offers a range of digital solutions, for businesses, MSMEs, and entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs. So they come to you to fill a gap that they know exists. So what is your process of helping them understand the benefits or laying it out for them for going digital?
Yeah, so I think as Manan also mentioned, right, I think one is businesses have realized that, this is no longer an option. Adopting the digital ways has become a necessity for all. And I think that trend has been on for a few years. The last couple of years with COVID has only accelerated the entire momentum towards these businesses in terms of going online, adopting, all different kinds of tools that they need to run. So at one level, businesses have realized, they have woken up to it in a big way. The other thing that we've seen, in our experience of working these businesses is they need some time. When I say time, the first step is critical, right? For you to adopt a platform, setting up a business, that is key. I think that's where there's a lot of inhibition, there's a lot of shyness over there. Once you take that, it takes some time, right? Maybe a few weeks to months, depending what kind of a business you are. But after that, you really, take to it in a very big way. Right? So I think you spend a bit of time initially in terms of figuring it out, in building trust with the new ways of doing business. And I think once that bridge is passed, you're able to do it much better. So I think we've seen that. From our side, we create a lot of content which helps the businesses do it. We do this over various channels, right? A lot of social media. We create ebooks, we create videos. We create actually courses for them, which them understand what is GST. What is digital marketing? How can you leverage social media? Stuff like that. So we do create a lot of that content, and also a lot of what we do doesn't necessarily focus on InstaMojo. It's not about how InstaMojo will help you. It's more generic than that. It's about you succeeding in this journey. And I think that goes a long way. So I think we're doing a lot of this awareness creation from our side in helping these businesses learn about things. And then once you get to know that, you're able to adopt different tools that you need for it.
So thank you so much for your time, Pawan, Manan, and Akash. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Benoni. Thank you,
Benoni.
Akash. Thanks, Manan. Take care.
Thanks you all.
Thank you.
You can catch the entire discussion on the ETRise Top MSME website. It's now time to get to the heart of the show, the awards. But before we do that, let's give you a sense of this undertaking, the search for the best of India's small businesses. Now, over 4 months in 2021, the ETRise team, with all our partners, evaluated thousands of entries from MSMEs across different industries. We received these detailed entries from the length and the breadth of India. Businesses ranged from textile manufacturers, IT solutions companies, auto component manufacturers, logistics solutions providers, and many more. To ensure fairness and robustness of the evaluation, we worked with 2 knowledge partners for ETRise MSME Ranking, CareEdge Ratings, and India SME Accelerator Network. CareEdge Ratings adopted a specialized financial model to assess the applications to 3 categories with the senior editors of the Economic Times. The categories were the fastest growing MSMEs, top performing MSMEs, and top exporter MSMEs. India SME Accelerator Network assessed the entries to the most innovative MSME category. Now, all the entries were judged on significant differences of entry, ability to create value, and putting the innovation to actual use. The entire evaluation process is detailed and very intense. And that brings us to the first award category for today, India's top innovative MSMEs. For the purpose of this program, innovation is classified into 4 types: product, process, marketing, and organizational innovation. The ranking in this category was decided by an eminent jury. They were Alok Mittal, co-founder and CEO, Innovative Technologies; Pawan Ponappa, head, categories and marketing, eBay India; Dr. Ritesh Malik, founder and CEO, Innovate Co-working, founder and trustee, Laksha. And finally, Vineet Nair, founder and chairman, Sampak Foundation, and former CEO of HCL Technologies. And here are the 10 most innovative MSMEs on your screen now. Let's hear what the 3 of the most innovative companies have to say.
we are very happy to receive the ETRise Most Innovative MSME Award. This award means a big credibility for the work that we are doing. And I want to say thanks to my entire team who is building the entire full stack food processing platform in India. Also our partners and our customers. The base of our entire business model is farmers and the women entrepreneurs that we work with. So wants to say thanks to each and everyone associated with the company. Thank you.
I, on behalf of entire team at Magic Creek, would like to thank the team at ETRise MSME Ranking and the members of the jury for having conferred this prestigious title of Top Innovative MSME on us. We at Magic Creek, since our inception, have worked towards helping people build their homes better, faster and cheaper by use of innovative construction technologies. So innovation runs in veins of all our team members and forms the bedrock of all the products and processes that are shaped at Magic Creek. So this award is a validation of our mission and will definitely help us will help in encouraging us to continue on the innovation journey going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, ETRise, for choosing us as India's top innovative MSME. I also thank all the people in Adverb, and I take this award on those people who work day in and day out to build innovative solutions out of India for the world. Thank you to all our customers who keep on asking new solutions which we deliver to them. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our second award category is India's Top Exporter MSMEs. This is supported by eBay India. India's government hopes to scale exports of MSME goods and services to 60% from the current 50-odd%. India's Top Exporter MSME Award category recognizes these champions of international trade who brought in significant forex through their exports. They built and solidified trade relations across multiple countries and created an opportunity pipeline for more enterprises. Here are the winners. And here are the top three winners. At third position is Buoyancy Consultants and Engineering LLP. We spoke to their CEO and managing partner, Prasad Sawant.
It's an absolute privilege and an honor to be part of the ETRise Top MSME Rankings as the India's top exporter MSME. I'm extremely honored and glad to receive such a recognition. Buoyancy Consultants was started 8 years ago, and we had a pursuit to become an internationally recognized, trusted brand in engineering design space with special focus in maritime industry. This honor and recognition strengthens our resolve to continue our pursuit in that direction, and we are very thankful to our entire team of Buoyancy Consultants, our co-founders Mr. Ram Nivas and Ms. Pratibha Sawant, our CSO Mr. Kishore, our partners, our clients and all the well-wishers who are placed in 27 different countries. I am extremely thankful to the entire team of Economic Times and for their initiative of ETRise, because it definitely helps and strengthens our resolve, especially in the MSME segment, to continue our journey and look out for more exciting times ahead. So thank you very much to the entire team at ETRise.
At second position is Kanal Foods Private Limited. We spoke to their founders, Bhupendra Kanal and Sneh Sharma.
Thank you, ETRise, for recognizing DoxyChew as one of India's top exporters. We started DoxyChew 6 years back to elevate pet health through our 100% natural and vegetarian dog treats, and it's a great validation for all our hard work that we have put in.
So last 6 years has been really great. We actually, since our inception, we started exporting first to the European Union, then to UK. Then went to US, Canada, Japan, China, and a lot of countries. So as we speak, we sell in 30 countries and export to 17 countries. And we are also the only exporter of pet food to Japan and China. So this has come with a lot of hard work from the team within Kanal Foods. And I would like to thank all our partners, investors, friends, and all the pet parents who made us what we are today. Thank you.
At first position is Mega Moda Private Limited. We spoke to their managing director, Yogesh Gupta.
I am very happy to receive this award from ETRise 2021, and I owe it to my colleague Shankar Ramalingam and all my other colleagues in the company who had brought this company from one level to another, and it is because of them that we have reached here. We do have plans for future rise also, and look forward to a better performance in years to come. I once again thank you, ETRise 2021, to award me with this Export Performance Award. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners. Now, if you are a small business, what you need is a line of credit. More often than not, that line of credit is urgent. But there is a massive gap between the funding that is available and the money that the small businesses need. Niti Aayog's discussion paper on digital banks out in November 2021 pegs this funding gap at rupees 25 trillion. Now, how can we bridge this? How can MSMEs access finance for business growth? I spoke to Amit Bhatia, the managing director of Deutsche Bank and the head of International Private Bank India, Rachana Bhusari, vice president at the National Stock Exchange, and Shachindra Nath, executive chairman and managing director, Ugro Capital and NBFC. Here's a slice of that conversation. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Amit Bhatia. In India, MSMEs tend to be informal in nature and relatively less aware of banking requirements and schemes. So how do we make information about financial services more accessible to MSMEs so that they can access credit for business growth?
So Miloni, look, that has been true in the past, right? This is one sector, and you very well articulated that, very important sector from an Indian perspective, not only in terms of what you outline, but also in terms of employment generation and, growth. So, communication is one very, very important aspect, whether it is outlining government policies, whether it is, outlining or articulating what banks have to offer, and so on and so forth. So I guess, what is very, very important is that each organization, takes this up, this key component, themselves, exactly like what we've done. Of course, apart from, the very, very important forums that are there, example is one of the ETRise forum that we are, right now part of. Which helps in dissemination of information to more and more SMEs. But from an organization point of view, look at some of the things that we do. right? We keep upskilling and training our client relationship managers, right, on key policies and procedures or any changes that take place, from time to time, and especially now, because the environment is so volatile, right, and uncertain, right, and they keep disseminating this information more and more to their own clients. Similarly, from our perspective, we've tied up with CRISIL. We have a newsletter, a monthly newsletter, that goes to each and every business banking and commercial banking client of ours, right? Similarly, we've appointed a couple of consultants. We are going to, make this a proprietary event. We've already done this on many occasions, where they train our customers and some of our prospective clients as well, right, on changes, policies, procedures, documentations on trade, import, export finance, and so on and so forth. So it's an ongoing exercise. You've seen in the past, because of its importance, even a lot of fiscal measures, are directed towards this segment now. More and more, apart from the monetary, measures that took place because of the pandemic, a lot of fiscal measures in the last 4 or 5 years, the government has directed towards this segment, right? And it is very important for, at least the MSMEs to know actually, what is it that they can look up to. So information is the key, communication is the key as far as disseminating information is concerned. And I think it's on all of us now, and not only the government, but also all the organizations that work on the industry clusters, the sectoral clusters that have been built, right, to keep disseminating this information on a real-time basis. So very, very important, for people who are in this segment to know on a real-time basis what is happening.
Right. Mr. Shachindranath, I'd like to move to you now and, get straight into some of the things that have been proposed for your sector. The RBI proposed a co-lending model for priority sector lending. And your company has signed up with SBI. So how well has that worked out and what have been the challenges?
Yeah, I'll come back to that. But I think so one of the things which we should remember that what we say is that we are trying to build India's largest small business financing platform. Our aspiration is to take 1% market share in the next 4 years, and we have been good at that journey. Today, in last 2.5 years, we have serviced more than 15,000 plus customers. One of the big change which you are seeing, what we call there is a movement of collateral to cash flow when it comes to small business financing. Today, if you walk in as an individual, you walk into a Chroma store and you want to buy a fridge, you can buy it in 10 to 15 minutes just by your mobile number, your OTP, and then which fetches your bureau, and you can get a financing done. Whereas an SME, when he gets an order of 5 lakh rupees and he needs 3 lakh rupees of financing, it can take anywhere from 15 days to 3 months time. The reason why that has happened, because what we call pre-data era, which is the GST, the digital banking and the bureau, for any lender to estimate the real cash flow for an SME was very difficult. You go and ask him, what's your revenue? The revenue would not be in his balance sheet or not formal. You ask him, what's your expense? Most of the personal expenses would be loaded into the business, and the behavioral analysis was not there. That is dramatically changing. We believe that in next 2 years, the small business financing in India would reach to the level of consumer financing, which means at the point of the transaction itself, you'll be able to finance that. Today in Ugro, we use what we call the data tripod of GST, banking and bureau, and provide credit disbursement in first 30 to 60 minutes of a case getting logged in. And you ask about then correlated to that, the co-lending. One of the problems, it is very well known that the non-bank finance company have been at the forefront of serving the underserved and unserved market, especially for MSME, which is a priority sector. But the challenge have been to get their own liability side. And that was solved first in November 2020 and then again in 2021, wherein RBI came up with this scheme wherein banks should co-lend along with the NBFCs. Now this is a transition which is happening. We call it as an inflection point wherein the entire lending industry would transform in a very different way. NBFCs would become lending as a service, and they have to collaborate very deeply wherein the power of the capital. In India, people deposit their money only in banks because they feel that they are, safe places to park their money. So the capital power lies with the bank. The power to originate, find a good customer, underwrite, disburse, and collect is in the hands of fintech plus NBFC. So this marriage, once it comes to full power, would unleash the credit when combined with the data, propagation which is happening. And you'll be very pleased to know, not just with SBI, Ugro has been at a forefront of this transformation of co-lending. We have partnership of 1,000 crore partnership with Bank of Baroda. We have 1,000 crore partnership with SBI, IDBI, and multiple banks we have. This has been a very painful journey, I must say, because you are trying to, make a large bank like State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda adapt to our unique way of, originating the credit, underwriting the credit. Today, we do roughly around 300 crore of business per month. We don't ask a single customer their balance sheet, income tax statement, or anything. We do at-point transaction-led financing. We take their GST, we take their banking, we take their bureau, and that creates the eligibility. And today, both SBI and Bank of Baroda has 100% adopted our credit model. It took us 1.5 years to get there. But once it has happened, you can think of that our challenge of finding money would in next 6 to 8 months would get completely, go away. Because the capacity which large public sector and to some extent large private sector banks have would provide so much of credit availability once we continue doing our good business. But the co-lending would take time. I think so. The securitization market, when it started in 1991, took almost 20 years to mature. But the co-lending would be at much fast, accelerated pace because the intent is there. MSME is the most important sector. Purely from political will perspective, 11 crore people are employed in MSME, which means 20 crore of lives, which means 20 crore of voting block. So governments are very keen to support this. The regulators are keen to support, and there is an intent of the banks to provide credit, not as a counterparty being NBFC, but the counterparty being the end client. And that's why this is working. This should work very fine.
Right. We'll come back to some of the points that you spoke of. Rachna, if I could move to you. NSE has an SME board where MSMEs can list. Eligibility criteria is lower than that on the main board. But what is the cost to the MSMEs listing on this board, on this particular board, and what does it offer to the promoters of these companies and also the investors?
Yeah. So Melanie, if you start with, the first question that comes is, what do I get out of it, and what is the cost that I have to pay for it? So I think your question addresses both the issues. So what do I get out of it is what I will start with initially. Most of the promoters, they enjoy higher visibility the moment you are a listed entity. If you see, we talk about 63 million, I would say, 6 crores of SME industry, SME companies, but out of them, who will qualify to be listed would be very few. And out of that, who have actually gone ahead and listed are extremely few. So, these people who have taken that leap and who have taken a plunge in the capital markets are the ones who enjoy higher visibility. The obvious benefit out of that arises. The second is, the better credibility amongst your stakeholders. If you're a listed company, everybody looks at you with a different perspective altogether. The banking terms, I'm sure Mr. Shachindranath and Mr. Amit Bhatia would agree that if they have a listed company coming to them for any product or any facility where they need capitals, the moment it's a listed entity, they enjoy a higher they enjoy better returns, and the comfort of these institutions to give money to a listed entity is much higher than being an unlisted entity. So again, those benefits are a galore. Benefits like, you can retain talent. Again, SMEs, they're unable to attract talent, and even if they attract talent, they're not able to retain the talent. So once you're a listed entity, you can obviously have the most important tool, ESOPs, with you, wherein you can actually again retain the talent and attract the talent to your company. Unlocking the valuation, again, that's again a perspective that most of the promoters fail to recognize. I think, the richest people in the world are not because of the assets that they own. It's because of the market capitalization of the, investments of the shares that they are holding in their company. So I think, that's one more important perspective that promoters have to understand is unlocking the valuation is very, very important at a point of time. Being an unlisted company, they're actually deprived of their share certificates are lying in one locker. They don't even know what is the value of it. So that's not what your actually worth of the company should be. Being unlisted helps you. Being listed helps you to move ahead, actually charter your growth plan with a lot of benefits in the capital markets. And we've seen a lot of people, investors coming into this markets. The last 1 year has been really good. A lot of investors have joined the capital market, and for SME, what SMEs offer a different asset class for these investors, because they're able to actually join the growth story of the company at a very, very young stage. So that's a very important point, that there are investors who want to be into such stocks, which are starting young, which are starting slow. And if you look at the past data, most of these companies started as SMEs today, who are in the main board and who are in the Nifty 50s. They were all small companies at the beginning. So people can actually invest in such small growing companies at a very early start their journey, and then have the path of wealth creation. So that's with respect to what is in store for the promoters. Now, when it comes to cost to SME for listing on NSE is technically negligible, is what I would say, because this is not a revenue model that any exchange would get into. This is more of facilitating the SMEs to chart their growth stories, have a platform which helps them raise funds. So at NSE, our cost is very, very minuscule. It's in thousands, that I could say, is what we charge as annual listing fee and something. But what attaches the cost to the company is not the exchange cost, I would say. It's about the cost of getting the due diligence done. It's cost about getting the structure in place, so that you are becoming an eligible company to get it listed. But it's a kind of one-time investment that you do. It is again, it's a one-time investment that you do to raise funds, to infuse capital, and to add other benefits to your company by being in listed space.
But Rachna, tell me, are there challenges in getting promoters to understand these benefits? Simply because financial literacy when it comes to MSME may be really low, and the bulk of the MSMEs are really small. They're micro enterprises. So what would be the time frame like?
Yeah, the challenges are multiple. First challenge becomes with parting your equity. It's like it's their baby, asking them to hand over a portion of their baby to someone else, to have investors on board. So I think the first challenge that comes is taking a decision to dilute their equity and share with some other partners, with some other shareholders. The second challenge, what I see, it's a mindset change. I think it's all about the SME entrepreneurs they have actually seeded the company, they've grown the company, so they are like the CFO, the CPO, the CTO, the CEO of the company. They are everything for the company. So for them to get into a structure where there's delegation, there is a CFO who's doing a particular job, it takes a lot of mindset change for them to adapt to an organization structure that is required for a listed entity. And third very important, and Shachindranath has touched upon this, is a mindset change about moving from a tax-oriented balance sheet to a wealth creation balance sheet. Because I think what is the first thing that comes to a promoter's mind is that if I show so much of revenue, and if I don't book so much of expenses, I will have to pay so much of income tax on my profit. But that's not going to help them in the long run. I have met numerous promoters having excellent business models, but their books don't show the revenue. And that is why they're not able to get the valuations that they deserve in the capital markets. So the mindset change to move towards a wealth-oriented wealth generation or a wealth creation balance sheet is, I think, of the prime most importance. Getting into delegation, identifying that you are meant for strategic purposes and there are people who will run the jobs at functional levels is, I think, second important thing. And fear of compliances. I will be under scrutiny. I will have to share confidential information. My competitors may overtake me because I'm a listed entity. I can be taken over by any other larger company because I'm a listed entity. I think this fear of compliances, cost of compliance is very high. I will be only doing compliances. I think these are the other challenges that you actually. That's all about is involving engagement. The moment you engage more with them, you put them on to people who have taken this step forward. We're able to take this, settle down with them, and they take this leap of faith, I must say, and get into the capital markets.
So start to finish, what's the timeline like, or it must be different?
Again, it depends again on the mindset of the promoter, how his organization is structured. Really, I have seen an IPO hitting within 100 days of the promoter taking the decision to come to capital markets. And I've also seen 1 year where the expiry was just due and they said, okay, come on, let's finish the IPO now. So there's nothing, this is not the time frame, there's no time frame fixed. But what I could tell you is one thing which is very important to understand for SME entrepreneurs is the regulators have taken immense effort to ensure that there are no hiccups in the regulatory framework which delays the IPO process. So in SME, the biggest advantage they have is that the exchanges will clear their offer documents. And the moment exchanges grant their in principle, they're ready to go and start their IPO. There's no SEBI observations that they have to wait for, which lengthens the time period for an IPO.
Right. Mr. Bhatia, I wanted to talk to you about the emergency credit line guarantee scheme, which was put in place by the government to lend a hand to MSMEs in the pandemic. What's been the offtake and the experience for you? And, what are your thoughts on this sort of exposure of the bank to the MSMEs?
Look, this was a monetary measure which was introduced by the government and the regulator, primarily for the pandemic. Right, it's a short-term measure. Our experience has been pretty good as far as Deutsche Bank is concerned. And what I gather from the street is, most of the banks and most of the customers have taken, full advantage of this scheme. If you ask us, many of the banks, there was this. You could decide whether to give an option of opt-in or opt-out. We at Deutsche Bank, we gave our customers an option only to opt out, right? So we were in the thick of things, right from the start. I think, given the fact that these are small companies, they typically, live on 3 to 6 months of cash flows. And in the first lockdown, if most of the companies and businesses were shuttered for about 6 months, right? There was bound to be pain, right? So I think this was a very, very good monetary measure or monetary measure that the government took. And not only, where there was a credit guarantee without collateral, which was given, you could go up to 20%, and then later on it was expanded as well, right? They've also increased the timeline because most of the companies and banks could not partake this with all their clients or all the relevant clients that wanted it. So I think it's been a success, partly because, with those funds and typically with most of the small businesses, and Sachidanand mentioned this, mentioned this earlier, with collateral not being available, right? I think this was something which was very, very important measure, at least to kickstart the MSMEs to come back to business. Now, given the situation that we are in right now, keeping my fingers crossed, if this Omicron and all that what we are hearing doesn't happen, I think if you see the data coming in for the last 3-4 months, at least the festive season was very strong, right? Even the data that is coming in for December as well, though we've just started this month, it's a very, very strong number on all the key, parameters that the economy is measured on. So I think it's done its job.
Thank you very much for your time. Rachna Bhusari, Vice President of NSC, Amit Bhatia, Deutsche Bank's Managing Director and Head of International Private Bank in India, and Mr. Shachindranath, Executive Chairman and Managing Director, UGrow Capital. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us here, Melanie.
You can catch this entire conversation on the program website. There's lots more there. Masterclasses and interesting conversations with industry leaders. Do check it out. The third award category is India's fastest growing MSMEs. For the purposes of this program, we evaluated MSMEs until the period of March 2020. But remember, in 2019-20, India's growth slowed to an 11-year low of 4.2% as per data released by the National Statistical Office. Now, despite this sluggish economy, these companies not only kept up the momentum, but they zoomed far ahead. They gained scale, built and nurtured supply chains, managed precarious linkages to domestic and international markets, shored up revenue. And we applaud these growth champions who've primarily demonstrated organic growth. The winners in this category are on your screen now. At third place is US Transworld Logistics Limited. We spoke to their MD, Dr. Uttam Singhal.
Thanks ETRise and their entire team for selecting US Transworld Logistics is one of the fastest growing MSME in India. I would like to thank especially Radha Devi Singhal and Purushottam Singhal and TWI Group for their extended support to make this journey possible. A special thanks to our associates, clients, Indian and overseas, our entire team and our stakeholder for their trust, belief and their continued support in this journey. On this special platform, I would like to announce that USTL is now appraised to the public limited company with all your blessing and all your support. Thank you all. Thanking you.
At second place is Dev Milk Foods Private Limited. We spoke to their co-founders and directors, Rahul Verma and Rohit Verma.
A sincere thanks from Dev Milk Foods and the entire stakeholders of our company, including the farmer community, the employees, and our customers. I think it's a validation of our efforts in terms of the work that we are doing with the farmers and the entire community for bringing out the best products. A sincere thanks to ETRise for choosing us amongst the India's fastest growing MSMEs. A sincere thanks.
I think this award means a lot to us, especially it is a testament of the strong relationship we have with our farmer community who have always placed a lot of trust in us. It is a testament to the efforts which have been put by our employees to always offer the best customer experience across every product category, be it ice cream, dairy products or bakery. Thank you very much. This award gives us a lot of encouragement to grow further and to keep growing by leaps and bounds. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ETRise.
At first place is Campus Sutra Retail Private Limited. We chatted with their co-founder and CEO, Dheeraj Agarwal.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Economic Times for this ETRise award. We at Campus Sutra are very, very excited to receive this. Economic Times anyways is like alma mater for me. I was chosen among the Economic Times Young Leader in the 2011 batch. And the 22 of us who graduated from that batch are like the closest friend ever. It's the network that I tap into regularly whenever there's a requirement. In fact, during COVID, we had set up a helpline, and we all kind of pitched in and did whatever we could. We at Campus Sutra are now poised for our second leg of growth. We have reached from 1 to 100 in the last few years. In the next 3 years, we're looking at 1,000 crore turnover. Campus Sutra had just recently launched in about 22 countries. So we are among the only Indian brand to be present in 22 countries. This recognition from Economic Times through the ETRise Award will kind of inspire the entire team to achieve this and aim for higher goals in the years to come.
We congratulate all the winners and wish them continued success. We're now down to the last category of ETRise Top MSMEs Ranking, and perhaps most significant one, India's top performing MSMEs. Now, these are companies that have excelled at almost all financial parameters. From profits to return on equity, these companies have been able to create value and wealth for all their stakeholders. They truly represent the best of the MSME sector in India. Now, however, it's not easy to be on this list because the criteria is strict. Every business had to submit its audited financial results, and together with our assessment partner Care Ratings, a RISE score was developed. This score was based on weightage to growth and profitability, liquidity and turnover of the companies. Now, after sifting through troves of data and months of deliberations, we finally have the companies that are the best of the MSME sector. And here are the winners from rank 10 to rank 4 on your screen. We're now down to the top 3 in this category. Our third position is Sensacor Medical Instrumentation Private Limited. Here's what the founder and CEO, Ravi Kumar Meruva, had to say.
We'd like to thank ETRise for recognizing Sensacor as a top performing MSME second year in a row. Sensacor has been a pioneer in introducing multiple non-existing products indigenously designed, developed and manufactured in India, and enjoys a monopoly cult status due to the fact it's a sole local manufacturer for these products and competes with bellwether companies around the world. We have a customer base of 30,000 diagnostic centers and hospitals spread across 45 countries, and we continue to grow at 50 to 60% annually. I'd like to dedicate this recognition to all the hardworking 450 odd employees of Sensacor, channel partners, distributors, and end users who use Sensacor products for measurement of vital and critical physiological parameters. Thanks again, ETRise, for this recognition.
At second position is Asian Consulting Engineers Private Limited. We spoke to their managing director, Abhay Mahajan.
I thank ETRise for considering us for this prestigious award, and on behalf of Asian Consulting, I accept this award. We at Asian Consulting provide consulting engineering services in water and environment sector, and we have been working in India as well as in other parts of this world. In this journey of more than 15 years, we have completed 350 plus projects in 16 countries. We also have created a niche of our name in this market. This was all possible through the efforts of my team at Asian Consulting. So I thank Asian team and staff of Asian Consulting as well as our clients for making this possible. Thank you.
first position is Pixel Softech Private Limited. Here's what their managing director, P.V. Rai, had to say.
Hi, I'm very happy to receive this recognition as one of the top performing MSMEs in 2021 from Economic Times. We are indeed privileged to receive this recognition from the leading business news provider of the country. This recognition means a lot to us, that too in this pandemic time and work from home situation. We faced some challenges during first wave of COVID-19 and managed to recover in 2-3 months' time by adapting ourselves well to work from home. I thank Economic Times for the recognition and the encouragement. I also take this opportunity to thank our customers, bankers, suppliers, internet providers, and various other service providers for helping us to perform and grow. Special thanks to our dedicated workforce who made this possible. Thank you.
Many congratulations to all the winners. It's wonderful to be acknowledged for your hard work, especially in the challenging environment such as the one we find ourselves in. Now, a lot of these companies grabbed and nurtured opportunities that came their way. They dealt with the uncertainties and kept going as best as they could. Small and medium businesses face many challenges. Governments and those in policy acknowledge that they are the real drivers of our growth and our prosperity, and so we owe them better frameworks so that they can thrive and succeed. Because our success as a country hinges on theirs. This brings us to the close of our program. We at ETRise want to thank our partners in this journey. eBay India, a Cell Global partner, Deutsche Bank, our banking partner, MIDC, our state partner, Carriage Ratings, our assessment partner. To all our viewers, thank you very much for your support and feedback. From me, Miloni Bhatt, and the entire team, goodbye, and see you soon with another version of ETRise Top MSMEs.